Is this the end of my Etsy shop? Stay tuned to find out what is going on with my Etsy shop. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm so glad to have you guys here with me today. This is not necessarily a video that I wanted to be filming, and honestly, I've even been procrastinating making it because it's not a topic that I want to even have to be discussing, but we're gonna be real and we try to be as honest with you guys as we can. And we're gonna be discussing today, is this the end of my Etsy shop? I have to say that I've been emotionally in not the best place because of my Etsy shop. And we'll explain it all, what this all means. Am I really gonna close my Etsy shop? We're gonna dive deep into all of that and we're gonna discuss it. You probably saw the title and thought, wait, is she thinking about closing her Etsy shop? Like, are you gonna close your Etsy shop? And honestly, I've been asking myself a lot of different hard questions about my Etsy shop. And my shop has been down for the last month, and honestly, it's down this month as well. And if any of you have been following us from the beginning, where I discussed when my Etsy shop first blew up, it was during the months of March and April. I think there's a connection to the month of March and April, especially end of February into March, where I started seeing the growth in my shop that I think has me extra discouraged, because in the last 2 years of making money and building my Etsy shop, when it first blew up, March and April were two of my biggest months, other than November being around that first year, about the same. Maybe a little bit more, but about the same as my March and April months. I was always excited coming into the next year of making money, which was last year, how that March and April were going to do. And I did more than I did the previous year. If you guys have joined in our videos and seen my videos, every month of last year, I increased from the previous year's month. So March 2023, March 2024, I kept steadily increasing. I always wanted more, but I kept steadily increasing. And going into 2025, I was just so excited for what this year could bring and maybe where I could take my shop. Especially, Shauna had set up batching challenges with us. And for the first quarter, I feel like I did a lot of listings, and I was really focused on making sure to design and to add to my shop so that I can see my shop grow. And for the month of January and February, I did see increases from the previous year's January and February. So I was really excited to see, really excited and motivated to see what March did, because March was my very first big month and continued being one of my bigger months. When March started off and I was starting to see that I was not doing that well, I was not increasing, and actually I was below my numbers from the previous year, I was actually shocked. I went through several weeks where I was in the negative, meaning between my payout from Etsy and what I owed my card to pay for the Printful and Printify purchases for the orders, within sales and ads. And I know that gets a little complicated, but I was not making profit. Essentially, I was not making profit from my sales, from my orders, and I was not even making daily sales, whereas the month of March and April are 2 months that I usually can count on having at least one daily sale. I was not. I was even going several days without making any sales. And I was shocked and to say discouraged, to say the least. So it started making me think, is there something going on with Etsy? Am I all of a sudden doing something wrong? Because everything that I share with you guys is exactly what I do in my shop. And I felt like I was doing all of those things. And I just feel that every single year, every single month, I get better and better with my designs. And especially with Shauna's new batching challenge for us and teaching us how to batch, I felt like I was getting a lot of things out there. And I'm sure that there's plenty of you that can relate to this. I think one of the things that was the most discouraging is I'm putting in all this effort and I'm nowhere near closer to what my goal is. If anything, I feel like I've taken a lot of steps back to achieving my goals within Etsy and even trying to reach that 6-figure status to be able to make those changes. I'm not sure if you guys remember our first video on this challenge where Shauna asked us what was our why? What was our why for what we were doing? And truly, I started thinking, putting in all the effort that I am into my Etsy shop, the hours that it takes to research and put in those designs, honestly, I have considered getting a second job, quitting Etsy, doing other things other than Etsy that I at least know are going to make me money in the moment, than trying to fight my way through making Etsy become something. I've been making sure to try to stay consistent, uploading new listings weekly, researching SEO, updating my mockups. Shauna has even helped me look up to see what some bestseller mockups are so I can even change up some of my mockups. It's just so frustrating to feel like you're doing all of the right things and not achieving the goals that you have. So even though despite all of my efforts, my sales have been slower than usual in the past couple of months, and it's really disheartening because when you put your heart into something and follow the strategy, it's easy to feel like you're doing something wrong when the results don't match the effort that you're putting in. So in the end, with this discouragement, was that enough to make me close my Etsy shop? No. But I really thought about it. I really considered it. This is probably one of the times that I've been the most discouraged about Etsy. I think there are a lot of factors, and I do try to look at myself and see what it is that I could be doing. And I had this conversation with Shauna recently, and one of the things that she opened my eyes to, which I can be a little stubborn sometimes and don't always want to accept what is being said to me. One thing that I have been doing differently this year is not just focusing on the niches that have made me money in the past, but trying to get into other evergreen niches. So I have designed in the niches that make me money, but I have also been putting in a lot of effort of trying to break into other evergreen niches that I haven't broken into before. One is Bachelorette. If you guys are a part of Shauna's membership, then you know she's done a batching session on Bachelorette. And another niche that is not necessarily my most profitable, but it is another one that has made me money, is the teacher niche, which I know Shauna talks a lot about. I think she just recently did another batching session live with her membership group on the teacher niche. I have been trying to get into some evergreen niches because I do notice that other than one or two niches, I tend to like to design for holidays and things like that, but I want to be able to get into enough evergreen niches to where I am setting up my shop to make money year round. One of the things that we talk about is consistency, and I have been consistent in my shop weekly. I put up a decent amount of listings, and when I say a decent amount, I have put anywhere between 20 to like almost 70 listings in a week. I am consistent. There are weeks that I'm more consistent than others due to maybe personal responsibilities, work, being tired, not feeling good, being sick, whatever the case may be. Even when we travel, I put up a lot of listings because there's days where we have the entire day of just researching and doing designs, and having Shauna next to you helps to be motivated to work on that. So I have been consistent in this first quarter. So even though I may not be solely working on the niche that has brought me money in the last couple of years, or the niches, I feel that designing in general shows that your shop is active and that you're working on it. And it just felt like that is enough to keep you out there. And then the things that have made you money in the past to continue making money. So it was hard for me to hear what Shauna was saying because I just felt like, yeah, but I'm still being consistent. I do get stuck on things. I can be a little bit stubborn, but I felt like if I'm being consistent, that should be enough. Plus, I'm putting out good designs. I'm putting out things that I never designed before and when I first started Etsy. So I felt like I was still putting good things out there that it should still have brought me enough traction. But after seeing over a year of every month increasing from the previous year, to all of a sudden drop out of nowhere and now be below your numbers, just overall very discouraging. Just very discouraging. I'm obviously not going to close my shop down. I didn't go this far and work this hard in it to just all of a sudden do nothing and just give it up so quickly. I think I would have to have over a year of just absolute flop to truly, truly consider it. But man, was it a thought in my head, because honestly, I'm just tired. I really am tired. At 3 years plus being in this, I just really thought I would be in a different place. But we all have those moments, whether it be with Etsy or with anything in our lives. And it's about what we do with those moments. It really is. Like, am I going to let it just completely take over and just ruin what I have already started to build? Or what else can I do with this? So I'm going to use this time to truly just review my data, review my views, review everything just more closely. Maybe try to research and test new strategies within my shop to see if that makes a difference to help me go back up. Maybe I'll start trying to incorporate some different product types. Maybe there's something that's trending right now that I haven't incorporated in my shop that I can try doing. And maybe use this time to get even more creative and use the batching strategy to really find some new designs, maybe in specifically the niches that I have done well in, and use that batching strategy that maybe I haven't fully used yet, and to see where I can take my designs, where I can get more creative with my designs. Because even if there are shifts within the platform of Etsy or our own lives, there's always room for us sellers that are passionate, that we're persistent, and that we're willing to grow. So I just want to take this time to reflect on what I'm doing or what I could be doing and adapt, make those changes. We all know that there are slower seasons, so I'm hoping that this is a fluke and that after these couple of months that I just continue to grow. Etsy can be discouraging, but there's always room to grow and there's always room to make this what we want to make it. Let's dive in real quick to look at my March 2024 stats and my March 2025 stats to really see where I was. So for March 2024, I had a total of 3,063 visits, which was a decrease of 42% from March 2023. Then I had a total of 53 orders, which was a 20% increase from March 2023. I had a conversion rate of 1.7%, which was a 106.5% increase in comparison to March 2023, and a total revenue of $4,624.45, which was actually an 18% decrease in comparison to the previous year. So 2023, I actually made more revenue, but in 2023, I had a lot more group sales, group orders than I actually did last year. So that was something that I regularly saw last year, that I did have some more single shirt orders, whereas I feel like primarily in 2023, I had a very big majority of group sales. Now, where was I for March 2025? So for March 2025, I had a total of 2,871 visits, which was only a decrease of 9%. That's not too bad in comparison to what we saw the previous year. But I did have 38 orders, which was a total decrease of 30% in comparison to March 2024. I had a lower conversion rate of 1.3%, which was a 22.8% decrease in comparison to March 2024. And my revenue was $3,383.13, which was a total decrease of 29% in comparison to the previous year. This could have been worse, and I could have had no sales or one sale in comparison to 53 from, the previous year. But it was a across the board decline. I put up in first quarter over 400 listings in 3 months. But I had over 100 listings that I did each month, easily, if we average it out. I felt that that consistency and that amount of effort should have produced a higher month. Even if the increase wasn't necessarily what I would have liked it to be, I don't feel, when I truly look at what I did in those previous months, that March should have been down the way it was. And I will be completely transparent. April has not started off better for me. Now, throughout the month of March, I did feel and see a decrease in my motivation and my drive to design and put things out there. I still list it every week, but April has not started out. In the last couple of days, I've actually gotten a few more sales than I had been, but I'm down. So let's see what my next video relays on how my April month goes. So I also want to take this moment that if for whatever reason any of you can relate to what I'm sharing with you guys, what I've been struggling with the last almost 2 months, we're not alone. And that's why we've also created this Etsy community, because we want you guys to not feel alone. And even though we may have started this channel and have had successes and even Shauna's successes, my success, whatever stage you are in your Etsy journey, we all struggle. We all struggle. We all have our moments. And this is a season right now for me that I feel like I'm struggling with my Etsy journey. And if any of you connect with that, you are not alone. And honestly, you're doing great. You're doing what you can, that we can always improve ourselves. We can always improve the people that we want to be in life, but we can also improve our business. We can also improve what we're doing. And we can move forward with this. I just want you guys to know that you're not alone. And I hear you. I have seen your comments. I have seen when some of you guys have shared that you guys are struggling. And so obviously I'm always going to be honest with you guys about what's going on with my shop. I show you guys my stats. You guys would see it. But I know how easy it is to fall into the dark part of it, or to feel really discouraged and just feel not good enough, feel like no matter what you do, it won't get better. It doesn't. It's so easy to fall into the negativity of what's not working for us or what's not going well for us. But I want to share that also every dip, every struggle that we may face, every moment of doubt is honestly helping to shape us into the business owner that we want to be. The journey isn't about instant wins. And I think at this point, we've all realized that this is not a small or short journey. This is a long one. And success is not linear. Success has its hills and its valleys. It goes up and down. Like with anything in business, I'm learning. I'm not a business person, but I'm very easily learning that it is not constantly, from the moment it starts to grow, just staying that way. But it is about trying to focus on that steady growth and taking those moments, becoming more resilient, and just showing up even though it can get hard and it can get really tough. I want to take a moment to thank you guys for always commenting and sharing with us. And if you guys found this video in any way helpful, please boop the like button, subscribe to our channel, follow along with us. We're here to support each other. And even though I'm struggling right now in this moment, I also know what is going to be at the end of the tunnel and what could potentially happen. But we're human. And so we all struggle with that negativity. And I think that that's why we're also here, to be here for each other and to make sure that we keep pushing each other to keep going. Because there is something beautiful at the end of what we're trying to build here. Even though I'm currently struggling with how I feel about my Etsy shop and what happened in the past month, I always still try to surround myself with positive affirmations to help me keep going. I probably would have stopped listing long ago, but Shauna always told us, you're not getting sales, then list. List, list, list. That is the time where you don't have to worry about juggling multiple things and putting in a lot of orders. You can focus on putting out lists, putting out different listings, researching and putting more out, which can prepare you for the upcoming months to make even more sales. So with that being said, I love to end my videos with a motivational quote, and I feel like this one just truly hit home with what I'm currently feeling and what I think in the past or even currently a lot of you might be feeling. And so I wanted to share that quote with you guys. When something bad happens, you have three choices. You can either let it define you, let it destroy you, or let it strengthen you. And in this season of a dip, of the hills and valleys of my Etsy journey, I am going to choose, and I am manifesting, I am choosing to let it strengthen me, to learn from the slow months, to lean into this creative process, and to remember why I started this in the first place. Going back to that first video and really looking at what is my why. And you can choose to do that too. Whenever you have those moments of feeling doubt about yourself, about your ability, about what you can build with your Etsy shop, I want us to be here to cheer each other on, but to always remember that we can choose to let it strengthen us. So we need to keep going, we need to keep learning, and we need to keep creating. I know that sometimes it can be easier said than done, but man, can we do this. There have been, I'm sure, many harder things that have happened to us in life, and we have become resilient and we have excelled. And this is no different. There have been many of you that have shared even like personal struggles that you guys have gone through, and wow, do I appreciate what you guys have shared. And even with the struggles that you may be going through, you guys keep pushing on. So if you guys can do that, so can I. And we've got this, we've got each other, we can support each other in this. And I just, once again, just want to say so much thanks to the support that we get from you guys. And I hope that we are able to give that to you. I hope that you guys can relate and we can relate to each other about the struggle of what this is, and be able to motivate each other to keep going. If this video spoke to you, I would love for you guys to drop a comment letting us know just how your shop is doing lately. And if you're also struggling with feeling doubt or anything like that, or maybe even struggling with your shop and seeing it decline as well, let's support each other. That's what this community is for. And we truly just want to be able to support each other, and for, like our channel is called, to make sure we have no friend left behind in this. Because community is what truly, in my opinion, makes this journey worth it. Now, I have already heard from a few of you from a previous video that you guys were definitely interested in our cocktails and content video. I would really like to try to get together with the group and plan it for possibly the month of May. If that is something that you guys are still interested in seeing, please let us know, and I will make sure to get on their butts and make sure we get together. We plan out a fun, pretty cocktail, and we can have a sit down and discuss Etsy with you guys. Thank you so much for being here and for joining me on this video. I appreciate you guys more than I could ever truly express in words. I hope that you have a lot of cha-chings in your future and that we continue to grow in our Etsy journey, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.